PokeRAMBLE Podcast.
This week, we've got a whole ton of information on what's coming up for the next month for Pokemon Masters, so join us for a deep dive whilst we look also at this week's news in Pokemon. Welcome to episode 13 of the PokeRAMBLE Podcast. I'm your host, Kamal, and as always, I'm joined by the Battle Frontier brain himself, Amit. How are you doing, my friend? I think we lost him already. He's just gone silent all of a sudden.
No, sorry. I was trying to be respectful of your intro, and I put myself on mute, and I was like, why can't you hear me? And then I worked out why. No, I'm super excited. Episode Weedle.
It's funny that this week, it's you that's fluffed your lines and not me.
It's true.
I can't believe that. It's unreal.
I'm the reason we have to restart. No, it's all good. Episode Weedle. Super excited. It's a big week this week.
Are you going to be naming all the episodes after Pokemon in the Pokédex?
Yes. Which do you think will happen first? Will we run out of Pokemon, or will we stop podcasting?
We'll run out of Pokemon because I'm very stubborn.
You think? Because they make more than 100 Pokemon a year, right? Or games come out every 2 years? So roughly 100 Pokemon every 2 years. It's tight, but we've got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine. 900 weeks. How many years is that? 20 years? Ooh.
Yeah, 20 years.
Ooh. Well, then we can start going for like variants, and then we can go like episode 1052, Mega Charizard X,
Diglett.
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, and we can do all 100 Alolan Diglets in one.
Yeah, each one from the Isle of Armor. Fantastic.
So yeah, it's been another week in Pokemon, and I guess the biggest news had come from Pokemon Masters, which we'll get into. But I found some very interesting news outside of Pokemon Masters that's happening in real life. And so I think probably what we should do is just go to our first section.
Let's go.
Let's go. So I've not Porygon to a theme park, but we've Porygon to the theme park for week 2 of Pokemon Virtual Fest.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
We did indeed. There were new activities. There was a new puzzle for us to not understand and have to look up for help because we're not Japanese. But on the whole, it was a fun experience. We had a good 45 minutes together in that in the Pokemon Virtual Fest.
Yeah, Mission 2 was definitely one where you needed to know Japanese, which we did not, but we soldiered through. We did what we needed to do to unlock more stuff for everyone. Obviously, everyone who completes those missions globally helps towards the common goal of unlocking more stuff in the park. And as a reward for our hard effort, even more stuff has gone live since we played the other day, which is super exciting. Only 2 days ago we played. So to have more stuff live already is super exciting, and I can't wait for next week already.
Yeah, and we went in, and you can find it on our YouTube channel at the PokeRAMBLE Podcast. We explored around and had a good 45 minutes, so check us out, check out what's new over there. There's lots of new games to play. We hinted at Diglets at the beginning of the show, and let's just say there's more Diglets for you to encounter at the park.
There's a fantastic N64 reference, if you know what that means in Diglett terms. Mm-hmm. There's some shooting, which was good fun. Like fairground shooting,
okay.
Not anything dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Water guns. It's all in good taste. We found some coins. We went shopping. We did a lot of good things.
We did indeed, and we found some coins. So keep your eyes out for coins, and if you see any coins, go to the shop, and you might get a lovely prize. But yeah, that's just week 2 of the Pokemon Virtual Fest. We will be dipping back into week 3 later on next week, so stay tuned for more.
Yeah, and for those of you who haven't maybe been keeping up with Pokemon Virtual Fest, they've got some live shows happening in the main auditorium, which is basically for people to jump into their big cinema screen, and you can watch. They did a rerun of all the Twilight Wings episodes. They've got other things on the horizon as well. So if you're up for checking out Pokemon Virtual Fest, maybe time it for one of those events. It's good fun.
Indeed. And with that, we'll move on to our next section. What's Pokemon Go, Ingon? So yeah, this is the Pokemon Go section of the podcast where we talk about all things Pokemon Go. Surprisingly, we've got a Dragon Week makeup event task. So I'm not sure why they've done this, but essentially you can redo the Dragon Week tasks. And I think the biggest reason to do it is because you get 2 more dinos from the research. So we've got no idea why they decided to give us this makeup event, but hey, make the most of it, get your dinos in. You've got 3 more days from when you're listening to this, so I think end of Wednesday. So yeah, just make sure you get your dinos, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. But that's it for that. The other very interesting thing is there is Pokemon Community Day for the next 2 months. Basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to select from these 4 Pokemon in a poll on the Pokemon Go Twitter account. And so at the moment, the 2 Pokemon that are leading the poll are Porygon and Charmander. So essentially, these 2 Pokemon will be the Pokemon for the next 2 community days as it stands. So make sure you go and vote and get your voice heard. I think, interestingly enough, we haven't had Porygon's Shiny yet. So that's the one I'm very keen to have. We've had a Charmander community day before, so I would be a bit salty if it got another community day before Grimer or a Caterpie. But that's just me being biased. But they will have different moves compared to last time. So yeah, that's all I've got for that. Which 2 would you pick, Amit, if you were playing?
Porygon's good fun, and you get 2 evolutions out of that, so that would be cool. Mm-hmm. Does the Grimer come with a Lowland Grimer as well?
Not sure, but I don't assume so.
Then I guess I'll go Caterpie.
Yeah. I think Butterfree was going to get Hurricane if selected, so yeah, that's it for that. The other interesting thing is there's stickers in Pokemon Go, new ones. So I think it's the Marill and the Slowpoke. Yeah, Marill and the Slowpoke, and also a gift. So they're new stickers that you can buy in the shop. And the last thing is that Heatran is appearing in raids till September 10th. So go and get your Heatran, and yes, they can be shiny. But yeah, any thoughts on Pokemon Go news that you've just heard, Amit?
The Trico sticker looks very raunchy. I like it.
Sorry?
The Trico sticker looks very raunchy. I like his pose.
It looks like Ash's Trico, doesn't he? Very arrogant, very cool.
Looks very chill, very cool, very stylish. One for the ladies.
Yep. And with talking about cool and stylish and stuff like that, we'll go on to our next segment. So you want to be a Pokemon Masters? Hey, Pokemon Masters, we've got so much news. And I think
so much news, right?
Where we should start off with is the fact that we've got Cynthia in a Signa suit and with her partner, Como.
Now you say we.
All right, go on, get the bragging out of the way.
Yeah, I got Signa suit Cynthia from my 2nd attempt, and I immediately stopped trying.
Yeah, but I mean, as the royal we.
Yes, the Royal We. The Royal We has a Signa Suit Cynthia available in a banner. Mm-hmm. Monkey Fair banner as well.
What's unique about
her? She doesn't have Garchomp as her partner.
Apart from that.
What were you looking for?
Moveset-wise.
Oh yeah, so it's got a 4-bar AoE move, which is super useful in Masters. Being able to take out the weaker side Pokemon while still damaging the main Pokemon in the middle. It's Clanging Scales, which has 176 base power, 100% accuracy, which is the first, or I should say the most powerful move with 100% accuracy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it does a load of damage.
Yeah, it's the first time we've got a 4-bar AoE move, area of effect move, so that's really cool. She's a good trainer, a good pickup to get, not essential, but really, really useful. But with her came another event, which was the Cyrus Event.
Yeah, the Cyrus Event.
And I think we've both finished it, but I think we'll wait a week until we talk about it. But what I wanted to point out with the Cyrus Event is the fact that the Pokemon Masters and Pokemon Masters JP accounts actually released 2 manga panels with referring to the Cyrus Event and referring to Signa Suit Cynthia. And if you're watching this on video, you can see it on the screen now. It looks fantastic, and it just makes me think, will we ever get a Pokemon Masters manga? I hope so.
Yeah, I really liked this because it just added a little bit more flavor to the story, and it's a bit of the story that they deliberately don't show in the game. So it sort of fades to black, and you sort of come out of the other side of this little story segment. So it's really really cool. I like what they've done with it.
Yeah, and just on the Cyrus event, it's a sort of treasure box event where you have to keep using sort of coins you get from battle in order to get items and whatnot from the boxes. How have you found it, especially with the stamina system that they've introduced?
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not alone in saying this. It's been tough playing an event that is predominantly based on luck with a stamina system that limits the number of times you can play. And I know we've talked about my difficulties with the stamina system over previous episodes. I won't go into it again. But there's a lot of outcry, I think, in particularly the Pokemon Masters Reddit and also on Twitter for people who I think are keen to see either a modification to the stamina system to just make the game more playable, or even just just removal of it altogether.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say apart from, you know, there is like a set amount of items in each box, so you can eventually get to the end of it, but it can take a lot more longer than you'd probably want to, and then you have to split your attention between, you know, this event, the rock event, and like other sort of like normal areas like sync orbs and level up events and whatnot. So it's a bit of a shame that we've had to play this event whilst being restricted and having to choose between events. So hopefully in the future they sort of take this feedback from us and change it, because it's not been ideal.
Yeah, I think one of the downsides is if you're making loads of spectacular content, and we'll talk about what's coming next week in a moment, it's a shame that you have to choose between it. I mean, having finally finished the Cyrus event, I can shift my attention back to the other event, which is the Rock Egg event. But it's a shame because I'm really enjoying the game, and it'd be nice to take part in all aspects of it. But it has been a little restrictive with the stamina system. Hopefully that will change over the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the only benefit of that I can give them is they've always listened, and I'm just hoping that they make the right decision very soon, or sooner rather than later. But talking of decisions, with Cynthia and with Cyrus, we've got another event, which is Latios. The Latios Legendary Arena event. It's an arena, isn't it? They call it Arena.
Yeah, Legendary Arena.
Legendary Arena event. And also, Lance is back to Scout. And so you've got a decision whether or not you want Cynthia or Lance in your team. Lance comes back with a expanded Pokegrid. He's very good in the fact that you can use him as a utility striker. So he's got potions as well. And so you can use your Sync Grid to maximize that or maximize the damage from Hyper Beam. But yeah, have you tried out the Latios Legendary Arena yet? How'd you get on?
Yeah, the soundtrack is fantastic, as all the Legendary Arenas are. Big fan of the remix they did of the Ruby Sapphire Emerald music. And
Was it the wild theme or the Pokemon Train theme they used?
It's the wild I think
theme.
It's the wild theme.
Yeah.
Top of my head. But yeah, it's a cool remix, as all the music is in Pokemon Masters. Probably of the 3 Legendary events so far, probably the easiest of the 3. And I've seen people do it without taking damage. I've seen people do it without even Latios making more than I think 2 or 3 moves. So it's definitely a doable one, particularly because it hasn't got immunity to things like sleep and flinching. So there are ways to stop it from moving and kind of immobilize it for a while. But it's a fun event. Certainly for people who haven't got tons and tons of resources, it will be a challenge. And I hope people enjoy playing it because I sure did.
Do you have any tips for anyone that's new to the game or maybe struggling with it? Any characters they should focus on leveling up?
Yeah, if you're new to the game, Iris, who you can unlock through the story, is a very, very useful character. Lots of ways in which people have been using her in particular to clear the Latios event. Often paired with the likes of Misty, who can give Iris some evasiveness to avoid incoming attacks. Or Skylar, who can boost its speed and its defense, which is also a great utility as well.
Yeah, and just remember that you can use more than 3 Pokemon, so you can take Latios down in chunks with different sync pairs. So just keep trying, just keep going, and you'll get there.
Yeah, I think even for the hardest difficulty, I think you get 12 sync pairs.
Yeah, I think that's plenty, isn't it? Especially with all the free pairs. I mean, you get really good free pairs anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, you've got access to Claire, to Iris, so who are good Dragon-type strikers. Price does very well.
You'll be able to get Cyrus in this event as well, so...
Absolutely, yeah, good point.
Yeah. So we shall move on to the next bit, which is the developer video that we got, or the letter, if you want to call it that. I think the biggest thing to come out of it is this: Yu Sasaki. He's lost the fro and he's gone to a different haircut. So he himself is now donning a Sigma suit.
Yeah, I made the joke that this is Sigma suit Flint. Flint's afro now being shaved and him getting all serious for what's to come.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked. I was a bit taken aback because the throw was sort of like a sort of community sort of not. I don't want to say joke because it wasn't really at his expense, but something the community loved, and I was sad to see it go. But Pokemon Masters, it's getting an update, and they're going to be calling it Pokemon Masters EX. Now
we're going to have to change the name of our segment, aren't we?
Do you know why they're calling it EX?
So I assumed it followed on from the trading card series where the first sort of quote-unquote Uber cards that they ever printed were Pokemon EX. Then it followed to GX, Tag Team, and now we've got V and VMAX. So EX was the first kind of big change to the Pokemon TCG where you stopped having ordinary Pokemon and you had these monstrous Pokemon that were basically able to take down most of your opponent's cards without even trying. They were very overpowered. So I think it's probably a reference to that in some way. But actually, the main reason for it is they've announced the introduction of EX sync pairs, or 6-star sync pairs.
We'll get there. So EX, short for expansion. Essentially, the game's been going for a year, and for the anniversary of this big update, they wanted to commemorate it by giving the title an upgrade.
Is that what they're claiming? That it stands for expansion?
They didn't specifically say it, but they said they said it as part of their video. So EX represents the new expansion that's coming to Pokemon Masters, and I think
it feels like too good a coincidence that EX came to the trading card game and it's now come to Pokemon Masters.
I think my theory is on this is that they're trying to bring people back or appeal to new people, saying, look, you played this game at the very beginning, you weren't too into it, but look, there's so many things we've changed, and we can see it ourselves. You coming back into the game, you can see a lot of the game has changed. There's a lot more new content, and they're constantly pumping out new content. So I think
and having been one of those players who played at the beginning, played it for a long, very, very intensely, took a 9-month break and then came back to the game, it does feel very different to what it was.
Yeah.
And obviously I came back just before the stamina system, so got to see the game then. Now with the stamina system, we don't know what the future of that will be, but the game fundamentally feels very different. There's more content, varieties of challenges. It does feel very different.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see in front of you, or if you're only on audio, go check it out on the website. But the artwork for Pokemon Masters EX looks amazing. It looks like kind of like Civil War or Marvel vs. Capcom. Think of it like Gary's looking at Red, Red's looking at Gary, and you've got all of the other sync pairs behind them. You've got the Elite Four, Kanto Elite Four on one side, and then you've got Lily, Giovanni, Cynthia, and the female version of the main character on the other side. So really cool artwork.
I guess a direct reference to one of the upcoming additions to the game. You've got the Kanto Elite Four in its champion blue, opposite 5 of the strongest trainers in the game. Well, Lily yet to be added, but certainly Red, Giovanni, Cynthia, and the female protagonist staring down the Elite Four ready for battle.
So let's talk about what's coming to Pokemon Masters EX. So the first thing you've already alluded to is that 6-star EX sync pairs are now coming to Pokemon Masters. And the first one we know that's going to get a 6-star EX sort of expansion, if you want to call it, is...
it's Red.
It's Red.
Who would have seen that coming?
Not me. They've
taken the most overpowered character in the game and even further enhanced his powers.
And this is to go beyond. No, so what's new about 6-star EX pairs is the fact that it'll make them, one, like you said, stronger, but also number 2, even more cooler, is the fact that they'll be able to change their costume colors. So here we see Red donning a sort of black and blue sort of color variant, and this is to represent Mega Charizard X's colors. I think it's a really cool way of being able to customize sync pairs that you've already got. Yeah,
I really like the fact that you can switch yourself as well. So if you get bored of one, you can switch back to the other, and it means if you really liked a particular design, you don't lose it. So that's a cool touch. And actually, you can see on the screen the stat line for Charizard, and bear in mind it's not Mega Evolved at this point. Those are some beefy stats for a 6-star.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you actually. What do you think, number one, is going to be the sort of way to unlock 6-star for sync pairs? And number two, what other sync pairs do you think are going to be upgraded first? So they did say they're going to bring all the sync pairs over eventually, the ones we have currently, and that newer sync pairs are going to automatically have access to become 6-star EX. But who do you think is going to be prioritized going forward? And how do we get 6
they've
stars?
They've talked about a new character being announced for the anniversary. Obviously, we'll know we'll get it 6-star, and we can speculate in a moment about who we think that might be. But I reckon top of their list are probably some of the fan favorites. So maybe Cynthia and Garchomp, probably Mewtwo and Giovanni, very, very popular. Wouldn't surprise me if they even took some of the story pairs like Misty and Brock and maybe made them 6-star as well. But given that it's already a bit of a struggle to get a 3-star pair up to 5-star, I'm assuming they'll start with the 5-star pairs because they're easier to work with. So probably the likes of Giovanni and Cynthia.
And how are we going to unlock 6-star? Is it a fact of getting it a 5-star and getting 20 upgrades to 5-star, or?
Yeah, I'd assume it's probably similar. I imagine you've got to get it to 20/20 and promoting it as a 5-star. And then maybe there'll be some kind of cool battle challenge, a bit like the evolution stories.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's item based. I don't know, but that would be a cool way to do it.
Cool. I will save who I think is going to get 6-star upgrades to a little bit later in the show. But I think next I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the next thing coming to the update, which is Champion Stadium. And we're going to have the Kanto Challenge to begin with. So as you can see on screen, you can see the Elite Four from Kanto. And the Champion Stadium will feature 3v3 battles with a cap of 15 sync pairs total usable. So you'll have 15 sync pairs to take down all 5 of the Elite Four. And don't worry, there's going to be both normal and hard difficulties. But the unique thing being, if you're playing on hard, type weaknesses will change every week. So give me your impressions of this new sort of area or challenge.
I really was hoping for a new kind of post-game, top difficulty challenge. And I think this is perfectly placed. I mean, it's something that's going to change every single week. So it'll keep it fresh, it'll keep it interesting, and it'll motivate people to do it. And I mean, who is more iconic than the Kanto Elite Four and his champion Blue? What a great way to start.
Yeah, and I think the thing to mention is as well, you're going to be forced to use sync pairs that you don't normally think about using, as you've only got a 15 cap limit of sync pairs. So it's going to bring a lot more diversity into the game as well, rather than me using the same 3 sort of sync pairs over and over again.
Yeah, it's a nice change from the Battle Villa where you really can just use the same Pokemon over and over again. You're forced to switch it up here, and 15 strong sync pairs is not an easy thing to pull together, particularly when you've got to use particular types for type advantage or to deal with a certain status condition. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be nice to see how that plays into the Elite Four challenge. I'm sure it won't be as easy as just bringing 2 or 3 strong pairs anymore, which is great.
I do want to speculate. Do you think that Blue's going to have a Signa suit change the week after his event starts?
I mean, my speculation is that Signa suit Blue will come along with the anniversary. So I reckon on the day that this goes live, the new sync pair they're hiding away is probably a Signa suit Blue.
But do you think he's going to be the Elite Four champion, or is it going to be Blue with Pidgeot?
Oh, good point. I mean, we know that Blue's team will vary week to week. So it would be cool to see some of his more iconic Pokemon like Arcanine. Obviously, we know he'll have Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard 1 week, I believe. So he'll rotate through his roster. I think that's how it's supposed to work.
Hey, we can only speculate. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Speculate.
I guess with that as well, we got 3 events that were announced. So the first one was Training with Legends, and I want to ask you, what do you think this Training with Legends event is? This is going to be dropping on the 27th of August, which is the day of the update.
My hope is that it's a training event with the most iconic characters of all time. Now, that could be the likes of Red, Blue, and Leaf, which would tie along nicely with the Grass, Fire, and Water egg event that's due to start the week after.
So can I just stop you there? Because that's my theory, is that we saw in the 6th anniversary trailer Blue and Leaf wearing Signa suits and also Red, and they were battling against the protagonist and 2 others. I think we probably will see that in this training event. I think that's what the Training of Legends event is about.
I hope that we get whoever the legends are. I hope that they're really iconic characters. I mean, the other thing that'd be really cool is if it was the champions from each region, and maybe we got to see the likes of Alder and others, that we haven't seen for a couple
Diantha,
of.
who's been on the starting screen for ages, but we still haven't.
Actually, I mean, Diantha's probably, if it's not a Signa Suit Blue, the best guess for who's going to join us on the anniversary, because it would tie in perfectly to the training with legends, quote unquote. She would be a perfect legend, and also she'd be a perfect candidate to join the roster because she's been on the title screen for a year now and is the only one not in the game. So that might be the perfect tie-in.
Yeah. The next event I want to talk about is the Grass, Fire, Water type egg event, which is coming on the 2nd of September. So we're finally going to be able to get 2 of the other starters that we weren't able to get originally. We were forced to choose between 3 of them, and now we're going to have the opportunity to get all 3 of them now.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I definitely felt like I missed out on the 2 that I didn't pick, Squirtle and Charmander. I went for Bulbasaur. And also really cool that they're going to have different moves as well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get Heat Wave on Charizard because that move is incredibly useful. Maybe Hydro Cannon and Frenzy Plant and things like that as well. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah. Never say no to having the starters in a game, personally. But there's not much else to talk about apart from they're going to be in the game. And I'm not too sure if they're going to have their shiny unlocked or not, but that would be a really cool addition as well if they decide to do that. It would be very stressful, but
that's going to be... Getting a shiny Charizard is going to be the highlight of my Pokemon Masters career if I can do that.
Yeah, but there's just speculation at this point whether or not they're going to be shiny. The last event, actually, is the Family Ties story event on the 9th of September. And do you know what's happening with this Family Ties event?
Yeah, we have one of the probably fan favorite families from the Pokemon series, Lusamine and her 2 children, Gladion and Lily, are joining the game on the 9th of September in a story event all about family ties, which is probably very fitting for their family. I wonder whether it will play on the ending of the anime, which I feel like I can spoil now. Am I okay to spoil it?
Yeah, skip 30 seconds if you don't want to hear spoilers for the Sun and Moon anime.
So I wonder if it'll pick up from the ending of the Sun and Moon anime where they all jump on a boat and go off to find Lily and Gladion's dad, who's gone missing but is apparently still out there. Or my other theory is maybe it's an event where Gladion goes a bit off the rails because he likes to do that. And the other 2 have to talk him down.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, spoilers over. The actual event is about they've been entered into a family sort of tournament. They're not getting along too well in the tournament, so you have to help them through the tournament. It's essentially what it is. That's what they announced anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought my idea was way cooler.
Yeah, it is cooler, but I think they're trying to distance themselves from other media, I think, and just trying to do their own thing, which makes sense.
Fair.
But yeah, actually, the other thing to come out of this, and this was on the website rather than the developer video, was that 2 mystery sync pairs are coming on the 27th and September 9th. So any speculation as to who you think they'll be?
I mean, we've speculated about the 27th being either Signa Suit Blue or Diantha.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that September 9th is going to be Lily or someone from Alola, because it would tie in nicely with that event. If it's not Lily and there's someone else who they're going to add to the roster, then I hope it is a strong Alolan trainer. Obviously, we have Kukui, but it'd be really nice to have maybe Professor Burnett or someone like that. That would be a really nice touch.
Yeah, I was being very simplistic in thinking that it would be Signa Suit Blue and Signa Suit Green, but we might get both of them at the same time, I don't know. But I'm just really excited to see that they're adding a couple of characters and they're keeping quite stum about it at the moment. So yeah, we've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Another piece of news is we're going to get 3,000 free gems to commemorate the anniversary. So just log in between the 27th of August or the 13th of September to claim your 3,000 free gems. So yeah, if you're new to the game or you're coming back to the game and you feel like you want to start a new account, perfect time. You'll get 3,000 gems. There'll be a Poke Fair most likely during that time, and you'll be able to get some really good characters to start off with.
It is a really good time to jump back in.
Next thing is there's an art competition going on with Pokemon Masters. You can win up to 20,000 gems. I forgot what the breakdown of it was, but there's plenty of opportunities to win different prizes for doing art for Pokemon Masters. So
I think first prize was 20,000, second prize 10,000, and then I think runners up 3,000.
Just give me one moment if you can fill time. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So, the competition is to design some artwork that basically celebrates your year with Pokemon Masters. So, trying to capture the essence of the game over the last year and your experiences with it in some kind of art, whether that be a storyboard, whether it be a poster, whatever kind of works for you. You get to enter this competition, and I think the DNA will be reviewing hopefully all of the entries and then picking a winner. I can't say I envy their decision. It's going to be very hard. The quality of fan art and just art in general from the Pokemon community has always been absolutely spectacular. So I'm looking forward to seeing the winning entries for this.
Yeah, exactly like you say. I mean, there's so much good art that's come out of this game from fans of the game. So I'm really looking forward to see what people create. I wish I was better at art, but hey, I look forward to looking at other people's art, and I hope they get compensated accordingly. The next thing I actually wanted to bring up was something very cool happening in Japan with Pokemon Masters. And this comes by way of GoNintendo.com, and the author, and I'm not joking with you, the author is Raw Meat Cowboy, who wrote this. But there's multiple Pokemon Masters EX promotional items announced for Japan. So at Japanese Pokemon centers and cafes, you're going to be getting some special goodies and special sort of like beverages, which will come with stickers, art cards, and a chance for you to purchase one of these one-of-a-kind framed art pieces. As we can see by the picture on screen, there's art pieces of Suit trainers. So you've got Brock, you've got Cynthia, you've got Elisa, you've got Grimsley, and you've got Red. And I actually think, going back to an earlier conversation, that these are going to be the sync pairs that are going to be prioritized to get 6-star EX treatment. I think it would make sense, given Signa Suits sort of represent a sort of like upgrade or sort of like a power up for these individual characters.
Yeah, what's really interesting is that apparently there's 10 different designs, so there's possibly 5 other Signa Suit pairs out there that we're not aware of at the moment.
That, or it's just 5 other sort of characters that are coming in the update that we're not aware of. Either
True.
Or.
True.
But yeah, the other thing is that Pokemon Center Online members can take part in a digital lottery that runs until September 30th, 2020. Those who enter will have a chance to win some of the items mentioned above. Well, above on this sort of thing I've copy and pasted from the article, but you know, art cards, stickers, and art pieces. So yeah, I wish I was in Japan right now. But yeah, pretty cool. But that's all I've got for Pokemon Masters for now. Anything you want to say before we move on to the next section?
No, there's so much happening, and I'm sure that a big part of our podcast next week will be kind of debriefing on how we found it and what's going on. Very exciting times.
Yeah, exciting times indeed. So with that, we'll move on. So it's time for the Sword and Shield PodCastform news. First up, free competitive Porygon. How can we get that?
Yeah. So actually, if you want the free competitive Porygon, I don't think you can anymore, because it was a limited time giveaway that ended, I think, at 3 p.m. Central Time today.
Double check that, because I think the Porygon...
Did I get it the other way around?
Yeah, the Porygon's till 31st of August, and I think the Gastrodon was the one that we've missed out on.
You are spot on. Yes, I've just checked it. Yeah, you can go and get yourself a Porygon too right now in Pokemon Sword and Shield with code PKMN Players Cup. So that's Pokemon Players Cup. And you can get a competitive Porygon too. There's a very common set used in the 2019 competitive season with the moves Recover, Trick Room, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt.
And what's significant about this Porygon?
It's actually not usable in competitive play anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, it just got banned.
Oh dear. But it was the Champions Porygon, right? Wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was the Porygon used by the champion in 2019.
Well, whilst we talk about bans, Season 6 rules announced, and I've got a couple of images up here of the top 10 most used Pokemon in singles and doubles, and my, these are the Pokemon that are banned out of the this month's season.
Yeah, so huge changes in Pokemon competitive play with Season 6 going live. They've banned 16 of the most popular Pokemon. So the full list is Venusaur, Gyarados, Porygon 2, Tyranitar, Torkoal, Hippowdon, Magnezone, Togekiss, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Incineroar, Mimikyu, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Indeedee, both male and female, and Dragapult, as well as all the usual legendary suspects. So some really big shakeups in VGC. Some really key Pokemon that were widely used, very, very popular, all now banned from the competitive format. So big changes afoot, hopefully for the better. It's certainly very positive that we're going to see new Pokemon sort of rise to the top and see some play. But it's the first time really that we've seen non-legendary Pokemon banned from the competitive format.
Yeah, what actually really surprises me is the fact that Rillaboom, once it's got its Grassy Surge ability, and I guess with Grassy Slide, is so high up in usage rankings. I'm actually really shocked.
Yeah, the thing that really pushes it over the edge is Grassy Glide being a 70 base power stab move, boosted by Grassy Terrain, boosted by Stab, boosted by a Choice Band, is very, very hard to stop, even if you're resistant to Grass type moves. So it's on the list for the right reasons. And also, Grassy Terrain sets up so many options for the rest of your team as well. And the other big terrain setter, Indeedee, also, being banned from the format means either we'll see other terrain setters like, I'm going to get the name wrong. It's the little electric one. Off the top of my head, I can't remember it. There is a little electric, like, worm thing that can set electric. That's terrible. No. It's a new Pokemon in Gen 8.
The little electric worm thing.
It's not really a worm. It's like Pikachu, but it's not.
No, not a beetle. Not a beetle.
No. Hang on. I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you stall.
Or Pincurchin.
Yes, Pincurchin. That's it. Yeah, that's the one. Pincurchin. So Pincurchin with electric terrain could be a new one for terrain setting. But also, it's nice to see that some really prominent Pokemon, the likes of Togekiss, Tyranitar, Whimsicott, who've been on so many of the top teams. It's good to see that they're getting removed from play. At least it'll shake things up. The big surprise, I think, for a lot of the competitive players is that Dusclops wasn't on this list. Dusclops was a very prominent Trick Room setter in the early days of the Sun and Sword and Shield format.
Literally unkillable at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think Wolfie Glick put it better than anyone, which is Dusclops just dropped out of popularity at the time this happened to be replaced by Porygon 2, and now he will just rise from the ashes again.
I will say, we were forced to sort of think about our teams in some of the competitions early on in Sword and Shield, and the one I went with was a Unburdened Thievul, so I think we might see it come back. Who knows?
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Okay, it's just me then. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Fair enough. But just briefly before we move on, I just want to thank Joe Merrick at Cerebi, who posted these two images of the top usage Pokemon from VGC and singles. This is where I got these images from, so just a quick thanks to him. And we'll move on if you've got nothing more.
No, not for competitive play.
Amit, I'll take one Tapu Koko to Go-Go, please. It's Pokemon Café time. What's that? Nice. What's happening with Pokemon Café?
Yeah, probably the coolest thing to happen in Pokemon Café so far. The first mythical Pokemon is now available. So Celebi will be available from the 26th of August, so just 3 days to wait, and will be available through into September. So you've got 2 weeks to find Celebi. You can invite it to parties, you can recruit it as staff. The artwork as always looks stunning. And yeah, get your hands on Celebi.
Excelente, and there's a 5 million download celebration with lots of in-game rewards, including 5,000 golden Acorns. I still don't know what golden Acorns do, but get all the Acorns is what I'd say.
Yeah, congratulations to Cafe Mix for hitting 5 million downloads. That's huge.
Really impressive.
It's such a short time as well. Well done.
But yeah, with that, we'll go on to our next section. TCG. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. So we got some TCG cards to show off from the astonishing Volt Tackle set. We've got Charizard, we've got Dreadnought, and we've got Hitmontop. Now, what's unique about these three cards? Tell it to the people who are audio-only listeners.
Yeah, in the background of these three cards, you've actually got trainers from Sword and Shield. So in the background of Hitmontop, you've got Bear. In the background of Dreadnought, you have Nessa, and behind Charizard is who else? It's Leon.
Yeah. I really like the look of these cards, and you know what? It's actually convinced me now that I'm actually going to buy into this set once it comes to the West, because I really, and we discussed this last week, but I really love the inclusion of the trainers behind these Pokemon.
It's a really nice design.
It's not specifically saying Leon's Charizard or B's Hitmontop or Nessa's Dreadnought, but the fact that they're included in the background really adds to it for me, and I really like the designs of these cards, so I will be jumping into this set 100% now.
Nice. I'm sold. I don't think I would have minded if they had said like Leon's Pokemon or Nessa.
No, I would have preferred it, to be honest with you, but
they have also put out 3 supporter cards, one for each of the trainers.
Indeed,
as well.
They have. Yep. I didn't bother getting the cards though because they're not too spectacular by themselves. But I do.
No,
I
wonder if we'll get full art versions. That would be very cool.
I could probably bet we probably are going to get full art cards. I'm going to spend way too much money trying to get. But yeah, alongside these cards, we've got other cards. So we've got Arrokuda, we've got Cramorant with an Arrokuda in its mouth. We've got a Tailo, which looks like claymation Tailo, which I really like. I always like it when they do like claymation sort of cards, or a design for the cards. We've got Galarian Surfetched, or just Surfetched, but in the card it says Galarian Surfetched for some reason. And you can get this Galarian Surfetched via this box that will come with packs for Astonishing Volt Tackle. So yeah, looks pretty cool. There's
they're cool designs.
Yeah, cherry blossoms around the full art Galarian Surfetched. I keep forgetting his name.
I'm surprised that they do call it Galarian Surfetched, because that's a complete misnomer.
Yeah, it's calling a spade, really, isn't it? At that point. But alongside these cards of Astonishing Volt Tackle, there's an update to the new TCG raid battles. What is it?
Just before you get away, I want to say the coolest thing about this set I've seen so far is that Charizard's move is called King Blaze, which is a great name for a move.
Especially with Leon.
Yeah, and it actually synergizes with the Leon supporter card. So the more Leon cards you discard, the more damage it does.
Do you think we'll get other sort of Pokemon trainers or Pokemon gym leaders with cards, or is it just going to be these 3 they're going to focus on?
I hope as the other sets come out for Sword and Shield, we'll get more of them. I wouldn't mind if they focused on 4 or 5 key trainers per set.
Okay.
And really give them a spotlight.
Sure. With that, we'll talk about this new big TCG update. What's this thing that you've got me highlighting?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Couldn't be more so. They've announced that TCG raid battles, which we talked about on the podcast before, basically 3 people against, in essence, the AI, quote unquote, is coming to the real life tournaments as well. So when you go to play Pokemon events for VGC or for TCG, there will also be an opportunity to take on these TCG raid battles. And you can win exclusive promo cards if you beat the challenges as well. So super excited about this. They've also announced the new Alchemy boss card that's not yet been revealed. So looking forward to seeing that. And also for dusting off my old cards and getting a chance to take on these challenges.
I can hear the excitement in your voice.
I actually am so excited about this.
Well, I think talking of excited, let's move on to our next section. Not going to play the jingle. We're going to start with this custom-made jingle from Please Be Excited, Asks a Question.
It's Please Be Excited for a Question.
Today's question comes from everyone. Everyone writes, Pokemon Sleep looks tender cool and we're all chomping at the bit to play it, but where in the Poliwhirl is it? Ask the like button taking a venom nap? We're all goal dreaming of its release, but do we have to wait 20 more years? Or is that far-fetched? Back to you in the studio for the answer.
So, Please Be Excited just asks the simple question, with a lot of Pokemon puns, where the Helioptile is Pokemon Sleep?
Okay, so look, we need to keep this on the down low because I heard a whisper that they are working on Pokemon Sleep, but I'm not allowed Red to talk about it. And they told me that if I do, they'll explode, and I won't get a sneak peek at Pokemon Sleep before everyone else. So I have to keep things hush hush, and that's really all that I can say at this point.
So what you're saying to me is that they're not slacking off, but they are working on Pokemon Sleep.
That's exactly it.
All right. Thank you very much. Please be excited for the question. We're going to move on with that. And there goes my first mistake of the day. Here we go. We probably should point out that, that was totally unscripted from me and you, so I'm glad our two sort of puns synergized with each other. That worked out really well. No, this is the PodCastform News Roundup, and the first thing it comes from Siliconera via Josh Tolentino, who's reporting on Dave Gibson from Twitter at a Japanese stream, who's a Pokemon lead interface designer who wants your feedback. So he asks on Twitter, this is Dave Gibson, what UI/UX mistakes drive you absolute mad in Pokemon games? I want to ship the next game with a top-end experience, and your feedback is invaluable. So we don't know what game he's talking about, but he wants feedback for UI in a Pokemon game. So is there anything that you, off the top of your head, want in there? Or I think personally they did really well with how they did the eggs and accessing your sort of PC system at any point. But I would really like an expandable map without having to go through the menus to open a map, if you know what I mean. That'd be really nice.
This is super specific. What else would I do?
Yeah.
My biggest bugbear is that when you're in a Pokemon battle, the run option is not the second option you go to, because it's the one I pick almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that, in some games I had to go right and then down. In some games I had to go left and then down. In some games I have to go down 3 times. Well, what is that? Everyone wants to run.
I guess with sort of the Pokemon games now giving you the option to see the Pokemon in the overworld, it's less likely you're going to be using that run option if you're trying to encounter that Pokemon.
Yeah, tell that to someone who's training or shiny hunting or whatever else.
Fair point. Well, you can give your feedback to @ajapanesedream on Twitter, who's Dave Gibson, who is the Pokemon lead interface designer, who wanted your feedback.
What a wonderful Twitter handle, by the way.
Yeah, I thought it was a troll at first, but no, I checked it out and it was legit. So yeah, thanks again to Siliconera, Josh Talentino, who wrote the article, for flagging that to my attention. He didn't specifically contact me, but I just found it. But hey, we'll talk about the next really cool thing is Taiko no Tasajin, which is like a Japanese arcade game, which has also got a sort of game on the Switch and I think PlayStation 4 as well. They've got the new Pokemon opening 123 by After the Rain in the game, so if you want you can download that song. I think it is paid DLC, so you'll have to buy it. It's a great song to drum away to, but yeah, I thought I'd just cover that off here.
Are we going to pretend they haven't just ripped off the Ninja Turtles?
Time for our next segment. Here's a mystery gift. It's the mystery gift section. So last week we talked about manholes, and guess what we're doing this week?
I hope we're talking about more manholes.
More manholes, this time in Tokyo. So if you visit local.pokemon.jp/en/manhole, you can venture over to Tokyo and see 6 new manholes that have been introduced to Tokyo, and you can actually find their locations as well. So you don't have to go venturing around Tokyo just to find 6 of them. You can instantly know where they are. But they're on screen right now for video watchers. They're all Kanto Pokemon, which makes sense because Tokyo is in the Kanto region of Japan. So yeah, 2 and 2 plus equals 4. Oh wait, 2. Oh god, I've messed up already. I was doing so good this episode.
Maths was never your strong point.
No,
it's okay.
That's fair. There's 102 Pokemon. Not really.
I love that the URL is /manhole. What a great URL.
Yeah. No, but really cool designs again. So you've got Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur. You've got Weedle, Caterpie, Oddish, Rattata, and Pidgey, and Poliwag. So yeah, really cool manholes.
Do you think they can ever do like a Kanto themed thing without the starters?
Well, no, it's Kanto, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're the most iconic thing about Kanto, isn't it? The starters.
No, the most iconic thing about Kanto are the gym leaders.
That's a debate for another time. We're moving on. To our last segment of the podcast. It is Unknown Fact of the Week. What have you got for me this week?
Yeah, always my favourite segment of the podcast, and a really good one this time. So we know that Mew is available in Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and I believe Pokemon Yellow as well.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a Pokedex entry, classified as number 151. But what is the most interesting thing about Mew's addition to the game is that it was entirely last minute. So the Pokemon Mew was not actually in the final version of the game that went through testing and was signed off by the development and the testing teams. And literally 2 weeks before the titles were released, Morimoto snuck Mew back into the game, adding its data into the game, but not actually making it available through any legal means. Which is why you can't actually catch Mew in the game unless you exploit what is known as the Bellsprout glitch. In order to get it, or I guess the teleport glitch people call it as well, unless you exploit the teleport glitch in order to get it. So that's why Mew isn't.
Are you telling me a Mew isn't under the truck?
Mew is not under the truck.
Oh no,
Mew is actually on Nugget Bridge.
Huh.
Have you never done it? It's a really cool thing to try.
No.
If you don't have to go very far in the game. You just need to get 2 badges in. And you can actually grab yourself a level 7 Mew.
Am I right in thinking that there were events in America where you could go in with your game and you could get Mew that way? Like they would add Mew to your game?
It's possible. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's possible. I'll have to look it up and check.
Hey, but that's a really, really cool fact.
Yeah, and I actually have another bonus Mew fact while we're on the subject of Mew.
A Mew, a new Mew fact? A Mew fact? Never mind.
You got it. Which is that Mew was actually trademarked 3 years before the Pokemon was ever trademarked.
Oh.
So Pocket Monsters was trademarked in 1997, December 26th. But the trademark for Mew actually dates back to March 31st, 1994.
Blimey.
So 3.5 years beforehand. The application actually went in 1990. So Mew was actually trademarked before Pokemon was ever even a thing.
Mind is blown. So that technically means now when we do all this trivia and stuff like that, Mew is the first Pokemon then.
So Mew wasn't the first Pokemon to be designed. That credit still goes to Rhydon and always will.
But if you're talking about first Pokemon full stop, if it's been trademarked before the Pokemon franchise,
it's true. That's why it's the ancestor of all Pokemon. So, okay, look, now that you said that, I have to segue into this additional Mew fact, bonus Mew fact, which is on Mew being the I guess, father of all Pokemon,
progenitor of all Pokemon. Is that the word? Progenitor?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't do big words. It's not good for us.
No. Well, for me anyway.
Yeah, so one of the really interesting fan theories is that Ditto is actually the failed attempts at trying to clone Mew. And the speculation for that comes from the fact that Ditto is the only Pokemon other than Mew that can learn Transform. It's found in Cinnabar Island, which of course is famously where Blaine and other researchers and Dr. Fuji were doing research on Mew and led to the creation of Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
And also that Ditto has the same stat distribution, although weaker, than Mew does. So all stats are balanced. Ditto has every stat at 48. Mew has every stat at 100. So it's a fan theory that Ditto was actually the failed attempts at Mew.
And they're both pink. Mind blown.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good theory. I like that theory. There
we go. Triple Mew fact for you this week.
A triple fact. That means no more unknown fact of the week for 3 weeks. You've been spoiled this week. No. Just kidding.
No, we'll be back next week. Don't worry.
Before we end the podcast, have you got anything to tell the good people?
We are not back at the normal time next week.
No. I've got a couple of things going on, so we'll be podcasting on Thursday night instead of Sunday night. Usual time, usual place, but different day for next week only.
Yeah. So to those of you who can't normally catch us on a Sunday, hope to see you on a Thursday evening. So Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. BST, 6:30 Central Time. I offer you the US times because you know them off by heart.
Oh, so it's 11:30 Pacific time, and it's 2:30 Eastern time.
So we hope to see you Thursday evening for the next installment of the PokeRAMBLE podcast.
Till then, you can find us on twitch.tv/KamelH on the Thursday. You can find us on YouTube at the PokeRAMBLE Podcast. You can find us on Spotify at the PokeRAMBLE Podcast. You can find us on other podcast services, I think. I know there's one, I've forgotten the name of it now, but never mind. And you can also email us at PokeRAMBLEPod@gmail.com. Special thanks to Largent Brewer, who commented on our last video, saying that he's going to be going back into Pokemon Masters. You should do too. But that's it from me. I've been Kamel.
And I've been the Frontier Brain, Amit.
And we'll catch you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.